ready to head through that door to the west, see if we can find something that has more exits, or maybe a final boss. 46. Well, 46 is not necessarily going to fit in there very well. This is going to end up being a dead end. It is still a room, so we may find something interesting in here. Inside our room, a 10. We're going to roll on the Weird Monsters table again and get a 2, which, if we remember recently, is our friend the Iron Eater. Do I want to attack straight out, or do I want to attempt to gain a non-violent resolution? Because that would be my third one for my quest if I'm able to do so. But also, if I'm wrong and it fights, I will end up taking 3 attacks right away from it, possibly losing a lot of equipment again. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and attack straight out. And I'll go ahead and start with the rogue, just to give him a chance to get a little bit of revenge. He lost his armor, he lost his dagger, and I did find it in the book where it mentions unarmed combat with your... But I didn't find it until somebody pointed out that it was there somewhere in the book. And so I went searching really hard and finally found it. On page 52, in the first paragraph under marching order and rooms, it says, if they have none, referring to weapons, they will fight at a -2 to attack rolls using punches and kicks. And that's what the rogue is going to do here. He does not get to add his level because we are not fighting minions. This is a weird monster. Even though he's using his fists at a -2, a 5 would still land a successful hit. And he missed. We'll have the dwarf go next in the hopes of doing some damage here before possibly losing a weapon. We know that he gets to add 3 now because of his level, and he gets to add 1 because of his warhammer. So he's going to hit unless he rolls a 1, which I recently learned and put a note in the last video that 1s are automatic failures in attacking also, which the dwarf got. I think not only are my wizard and dwarf cursed, I think my dice are also cursed. Now I think I should definitely have attempted a roll because I've done nothing to this creature. We'll have the wizard attack using his staff. Fireball won't do a lot of good against this creature because that's much better against minions or vermin because of the splash damage. And same with lightning bolt. I want to save that for a boss creature. So we're going to attack at a -1. Maybe the wizard will bring his MVP status. Nope. Everybody missed. That Iron Eater is really fast. And now it gets to attack 3 times. Defense rolls against the Iron Eater do not get a bonus from heavy armor, so the heavy armor of the dwarf is not even going to help him. And nobody else has a shield, and nobody has light armor either. So no bonuses for anybody. We'll use our marching order, wizard, dwarf, rogue, to see who gets the first attack. And that will be the rogue. And the rogue is the only character that's not cursed. He does add his level to his defense roll, so we're okay there. And this is a level 3 creature. He successfully defends. The Iron Eater attacks the rogue again. Man, this thing really hates the rogue. Must be a friend of the other Iron Eater. And that's a 3 plus his level for 4. So he successfully defends again. One last attack. Again, the rogue. And the rogue is basically a ninja and manages to dodge every attack. And we'll go ahead and let the rogue go ahead and attack first again. At a -2. That is a miss. And this time I think I'll go with the wizard next, because he's only attacking at a -1. Also misses. Terrible, terrible combat. Enemy and friend alike are dancing around each other, just missing everything. The dwarf finally goes. Again, rolling at a +4, unless he does his normal roll of 1. And he does not this time. 5 + 4 is 9. That is a very decisive blow. A very strong attack that does 3 wounds. But unfortunately we didn't roll a 6 to hopefully get to another one, which means the Iron Eater will get another round of attacks. We're still in the same order. The Iron Eater first attacks the dwarf this time. Oh no. He could lose his heavy armor. And he's cursed, so his defense is at -1, and his heavy armor has no bonus. He needs to roll high. And he does, an automatic success. Iron Eater attacks the dwarf again. It's keyed in on the dwarf. 5 - 1 is 4. Still a good defense against the 3rd level Iron Eater. And finally, he goes after the rogue again out of frustration. And the rogue adds his level to his defensive roll, so that'll give him a 4 and a successful defense. Very, very good. And now we'll attack, and we'll go in the same order. We'll give the rogue a shot at it, who's attacking at a -2. That is a miss. Came close there. Now we'll have the wizard attack at a -1 and completely whiff. And finally, I'm changing dice. We'll have the dwarf go with his +4. Anything but a 1, and this Iron Eater is defeated. Ooh, that was close. That will come out to a 6, and that is enough. The dwarf managed to defeat the Iron Eater single-handed, and now we'll get an XP roll. My wizard and dwarf are both 3rd level. I think I'll go ahead and level up, or attempt to level up the rogue, because he's only level 1. Which means anything but a 1, he levels up. And he did not. Wow, that lack of weapon is really hurting his confidence. Doesn't believe in himself, no level up. Alright, we're running out of options now. We ended here where the Iron Eater was, and this room has no exits. The next closest exit we have, we'd have to go through 1 area, 2 areas, 3 areas, and we could go there. 4 areas, we could go south, but there's not much room there, so this looks like the better option. We do have options further to the north and the east over here, but that will require some serious backtracking through 1, 2, 3. Wait, I can't go this way. That's right, that doesn't connect. I'd have to go all the way. Wow, I have to go all the way up and around. That's rough. So this is our best option. So we'll backtrack through 3 areas. Checking for wandering monsters all along the way. The first area. Yes, of course there's a wandering monster in that corridor, because why not? There's been a ton of monsters in that corridor. And it's a corridor that has minions in it. Well, at least it's minions. And we are going to run into more fungi folk. Just a quick refresher, there's going to be 2d6 and they're level 3. No treasure because this is a wandering monster. And then we have to worry about the poison roll, which I believe I forgot early on in the game, if anybody takes any damage. How many of these things are in this corridor? Oh, now the dice roll nice and high. 9 of them. These are wandering monsters. They snuck up on us in a corridor, which means it's going to be 2x2 fighting. The dwarf and the rogue are the 2 in the rear, so they're going to be dealing with these. I could have the wizard lob a fireball, but we'll see how things turn out. First, the dwarf and the rogue will each take an attack from these level 3 fungi folk. The dwarf's heavy armor gives him a +2, -1 for his curse, so a +1. And fails miserably, as the dwarf often does. And will take a wound, taking him down to 4 life. Now he must save versus level 3 poison. Oh, saved that time, so no extra damage. Now our rogue, who is still level 1, will only add 1 to his defense roll. 4 plus 1 is 5. He defended successfully, and now we can attack. We'll have the rogue go first, since he's punching and kicking. We do not outnumber the minions right now, so he cannot add his level. So he's attacking at a -2. And he gets an explosive 6. Plus 5 is 11, minus 2 is 9. That's enough to take out 2 level 3 fungi folk. Too bad we're in a corridor. And for the sake of time, I'm going to mark the casualties off camera until we get to the halfway point. 2 more fungi folk step forward. The dwarf winds up with his large warhammer, attacking at a +4, and gets a 3. That's going to give him 7. Again, that's enough to take out 2 more. 4 have been defeated, 5 are remaining. We're not quite below half yet to where we need to do a morale check. We're going to let the wizard just chill in the back. No need to use a fireball. Things are going okay. 2 fungi folk attack, 1 each on the dwarf and the rogue. First up, the rogue defends. Successful. And the dwarf defends. Also successful. Very good. The rogue will now do his best martial arts impression. And again get an exploding 6. And a 4 for 10, minus 2 for 8, and he takes out 2 more. Nice. There are only 3 remaining, which means it's time to check morale because they're down below half their original number. We're looking for a 1 to 3, and they flee. We ran into another wandering monster in this corridor. So far, fungi folk, an iron eater, and goblins have all been run into. As far as wandering monsters go, we have a ton of wandering monsters in this dungeon, all these circled ones, so we got to be careful. We got 1 more area to go. Well, 2 more, 1 here, and see if we can make it through without running into anything else. My double 6s are punishing me. Next area is a 2, so nothing there, and the final area, no wandering monsters there. Now we can go through this corridor to the north. Through that corridor to the north, we have 33, which is a pretty tight, small corridor, but it has a door. All right, I'm going to rotate this one a little bit. Let's see what's in here. Rolling for this corridor. We get a 10. That's empty if it's a corridor. I really don't want to fight anything else right now, so I'll go ahead and exit through the only available door and get a 35. And we're going to end up in a dead end, a very large dead end room. But because of the orientation of the map and where that entrance on that room is, this is really going to be quite small, but it will still count as a room. What do we have inside this room? A 6, which is vermin. And the vermin we're going to face is a 2, so we're going to have 3d6 vampire bats again. But we can check on the reaction. 1 to 3 flee, 4 to 6 fight. Let's see how many there are first. That is 6 plus 6, of course, for 12. If we decide to do the reactions and we fail, that would be 4 attacks on each character. Even though they're only a level 1, there's a chance we could take a lot of wounds here. But I'm backed into a corner, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take that chance. So we're looking for a 1 to 3 for them to flee, and not a 4 to 6. And of course we nailed it. We got that 6. So that's going to be 4 attacks on every character. Alright, here we go. Let's start with the wizard. He is cursed, so his rolls are at a -1. So he might take a bunch of wounds here. That's a wound, which is very, very bad. That takes him down to 1 health. Well, I think my decision is going to end up killing off our party here, or darn near most of it. We got 3 more attacks on the wizard. I could not have used bandages again anyway, because he already used them once before. The only other thing I have is a teleportation ring. I could have him teleport out of here back to the entrance Can I do that and just have him leave for this adventure? Let me check. Well, I was thinking of the teleportation ring the wrong way. I was totally thinking of the teleportation ring the wrong way. It says it allows the user to automatically pass a defense roll by moving the character out of the room. The character may not take part in the current combat, but rejoins the party as soon as the combat is over. After one use, the ring loses its powers and becomes a simple gold ring worth 1d6 plus 1. So we will go ahead and use the ring of teleportation and get out of here. And that leaves the combat to the dwarf and the rogue. I'm going to go ahead and bend the rules a little bit here and say that the wizard used that teleportation ring to successfully defend against that first attack, so he did not take that wound, and it will still be at 2 life. I know it's bending the rules a little bit, but I think it's fair enough. But the dwarf and the rogue each still have 4 attacks that are going to occur on them. The dwarf will now defend. He is cursed at a -1. His armor is a +2. So he gets a +1. So basically anything other than a 1, which is an automatic failure, means he's good to go. 1, 2. I'll just roll both for the final 2 attacks. And he's going to take 1 wound. And that'll take him down to 3 life. Our rogue has 3 life. He can add his level. So he's at a +1 also. So he's good to go again with anything but a 1. The first 2 attacks, no wounds, a 4 and a 2, and the second 2, 1 wound, taking him down to 2 life. Now they can attack. We'll have the rogue attack first. We don't outnumber the minions, so he has to attack at a -2. Luckily these are level 1 creatures. 5 minus 2 is 3, so he'll take out 3 of them, leaving 9 for the dwarf to attack. Alright, dwarf, this is not the time for a 1, because you have a +4 to attack and can do some serious damage to the number of bats here. 4 plus 4 is 8, so he takes out 8 more, leaving only 1 bat flapping around. Let's test its morale. Well, it's a very angry bat, and I will have it attack the dwarf, who successfully defends, and the rogue will attack the bat while it's attacking the dwarf, and miss, leaving the dwarf to try and take out this lone bat, and easily does so. Okay, we have to decide where we're going to go now. The wizard has rejoined our group. Oh, let me roll to see how much that ring is worth now. 1d6 plus 1. And it's just a measly ring worth 2 gold pieces. So now we have some decisions to make. We need to backtrack. I don't think it would be smart to backtrack and go this way. There's not much we can do there. So if we backtrack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can head to the north in that direction. And that's really the only way, because this is a dead end here. So in order to get back this way, I have to come all the way around anyway. So we're going to backtrack 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Let's see how many wandering monsters we have to battle through to get back to the room with the lady in white. Our first area. No. Second. No. Third, no. Fourth, no. And finally the last, no. Wow. That's a big turn of events for our dice rolling. We're all the way back in the room with the lady in white. We have to tell her we haven't quite finished our quest yet. Sorry about that. 1 more to go. And we're going to move through that corridor to the north and get a 26. Which is a super tiny corridor, but at least it has another exit. It's small, but it provides us another path still. Inside our little corridor, 8. If a corridor, empty. I'll take it. I'm going to say it's empty. I'm not messing around. Let's go through the next door. On the other side of the corridor, we have a 62. which will give us plenty of options. We now have a four-way intersection. Not the best place for this at all. I thought it was going to give me a lot of options. It's going to give me a lot of dead ends, but at least one more continuing option to the east. Inside our corridor, we have a 3, which is treasure protected by a trap. Roll on the traps table and on the treasure table. Well, this is a first for this adventure. The traps table is a D6, and we have a 1. And on the traps table, it is just a dart at a level 2 attacking a random character, which just means the character must make a defense roll against a level 2, and if not, lose 1 life. Well, out of all the traps there, that's the weakest one. We got lucky. Finally, a 1 paid off. And the random character, with our marching order of Wizard, Dwarf, Rogue, is the Rogue. And this is a defensive roll, which means he can add his level. So he's got a level 2 trap. Ooh, lucky there. That with his defensive roll, it's a +3 or +1 to give him a 3. That is enough. The Rogue manages to sidestep that dart, so we get to roll on the treasure table. And that is a 6, which is great. 1 random magic item from the magic treasure table below, which is also a D6. And we're going to get Fool's Gold. Magical but fake gold pieces. Let the user automatically bribe the next monster that asks for a bribe no matter what they asked. Wow, it's a 1-use magic item. That's actually pretty good because we're looking to do a non-violent encounter. So we'll go ahead and have the Rogue hold on to that Fool's Gold. And we'll now head to the east. Heading to the east, we have a 56. A very large room with multiple exits, but I don't know how well it will fit on this map. Let's see if we can rotate it to our advantage. And I do have enough room to fit it in and get all the exits available too. So let me get this thing drawn. And what is inside this massive room? That is an 8, which means it's a room we'll roll on the minions table. And a 4 will give us another group of orcs, but this time they're in the room and we can actually get treasure. They're the ones that are afraid of magic. But we have reactions here. 1 to 2 bribe, 3 to 5 fight, 6 fight to the death. Well, let's see how many there are. D6 plus 1. Maybe we'll go ahead and take a chance and maybe see if we can roll a 1 or a 2. Let's see how many there are first. D6 plus 1. Oh, there's 7 of them. No way. These are level 4. And they would get to all attack. That's not a good idea. So we will rush in and attack first. We'll start with our weaker members and work our way towards the Dwarf. The Rogue will attack first at a -2. So he needs a 6 at a minimum. He did not get it. He really missed. Probably almost fell down during that attack. Our Wizard, maybe this is the time to use that Fireball spell. Fireball. The spell works like an attack roll. The Wizard adds his level to the roll. Fireball does not affect dragons. No problem here. Used against minions, Fireball slays a number of creature equal to the Wizard's die roll minus the level of the minions. A minimum of 1 creature is always slain. Okay, so he's going to roll a die, which would be 1d6. Adds his level of 3. Minus 4, because that's their level. He'd have to roll pretty high. He would still slay 1 for sure, so let's do that. The Wizard adds 3 onto his roll of 5. He adds 3 on, that gives him an 8. We subtract the level of the creature, which would be 4. 8 minus 4 is 4. And that is the number of creatures slain. Very, very nice. Very good use of the Fireball. Taking out 4 of the orcs, which will take them below half, and they're going to have to test morale. And since it was magic that took them below half, I believe they check at a -1. That is correct. So they test morale. Oh, and they are sticking around. There are 3 remaining. The dwarf will get to attack at a +4. Get a 7. Darn it. That's only enough to take out one of these level 4 orcs. But we are down to 2. We'll have the orcs attack the dwarf and the rogue. The rogue can add his level to his defense. 3 plus 1 is 4. That's not enough. So he's going to take a wound and take him down to 1 life. And our dwarf, who is cursed, so his armor only helps him with a +1. But he successfully defends. We'll go ahead and let the rogue get some revenge and attack at a -2. Ooh, so close. Almost got that 6. Oh, actually he did get 6. But wait, he gets to add his level because we outnumber the minions now. So that would be 5 plus 1, because he adds his level for 6, minus 2 with no weapons equals a 4, which means he is able to take one out with his bare hands. And we'll go ahead and let the wizard go after this last one using his staff at a -1. He will miss. We'll now have the dwarf attack at a +4 and easily defeat the final orc. We get to roll on the treasure table, keeping in mind that orcs never have magic items. So that 6 would normally be a magic item, but they do not have them. If you roll magic on orcs, instead you roll 2d6s and you multiply them together, and that's how many gold pieces you find in place of that magic item. 5 and 5, 25 gold. We have successfully defeated the orcs, and instead of confining ourselves into this small space here, I'm going to head over to the east.